Yo, what's going on, everyone? My name is Cryptic Zero, and EA's press conference for EA Play 2018 has just concluded. And some interesting things came out of it. I think for the most part, everybody can agree that it was kind of a letdown. I mean, they prioritized a mobile game over showing some actual Battlefield 5 multiplayer gameplay. They didn't really pay too much attention to Battlefield 5 to begin with, which didn't really redeem themselves. And although Anthem looks cool, there's not a whole lot of substance behind it because it looks more like a Destiny clone. Now I'm still interested in paying attention to it, but yeah, it was mostly a letdown. For me personally, though, I think this was the thing that I was most excited to hear about: new Star Wars games, and we had only two announcements, which was also a disappointment, and no trailers for either of those announcements. One of which makes sense: Battlefront 2, they were talking more future content, which was really nice. And the other one, I feel they should have given a teaser trailer for, which was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, a game that takes place in between Star Wars Episodes 3 and 4 during what would appear to be Order 66. That presents a ample opportunity for a very good game to be released from, I believe, Respawn Entertainment regarding this game. And overall, I'd say I'm pretty excited for it. But we didn't see any gameplay, and the man who was behind the press conference for them looked stoned most of the time. So we didn't really get too much information either. But nevertheless, it's an announcement for a new Star Wars game from EA, but only one. And that's my major issue with EA. They only announced one new Star Wars game, and they've had this license for 5 years. They've released two AAA games, few mobile games, and now they are on their way to releasing a new one by Respawn Entertainment, which it sounds pretty good. They also canceled Viscerals though, which I still can't forgive them for. But nevertheless, it is confirmation of a new Star Wars game, which is all we really care about. Although EA is a giant company, so shouldn't they have the resources to create many Star Wars games? I think that's the main reason Disney chose them for the Star Wars license. They're a massive company who should be able to pump out a massive amount of Star Wars games. But nevertheless, I digress. And this is what we have. We have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and some really exciting new announcements for Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is, guys, I think these announcements for Battlefront 2 could potentially save the game. After this lackluster, 6 months we've had between The Last Jedi and now the solo season, it feels like we've almost gotten less content than we would have if we had just had a premium DLC thing. But nevertheless, it's better having it free, because who wants to pay for any of this crap anyways? But anyways, sorry, I'm getting off track here. The past, present, and future of Star Wars Battlefront 2 is all I really want to talk about for this video. Because not only have they announced that after the solo season, we will be getting new Clone Wars era content starting this fall. Too bad it's not happening this summer, but we can wait a little bit longer. Hopefully, they pull through and give us a shit ton of content, which it seems like they are. Looks like we're going to be getting Geonosis, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and General Grievous. But not only that, guys, because we're also going to be getting Anakin Skywalker and Count Dooku, which I think is the icing on the cake. Because in reality, this had already been leaked, and we were already all expecting this. Geonosis, Obi-Wan, and General Grievous were something the community had been talking about, something that had been leaked quite often already by this point. So that wasn't going to be a huge surprise when they announced it. It was going to be a surprise that it was actually happening, but then the hype would die down. So I think it really helps that they're announcing that they're releasing two other requested characters, Count Dooku and Anakin, following this. Which only leaves me to speculate, because of what they said at the press conference, what other Clone Wars content they're going to be releasing this year. Because I'll get into the rest of this article shortly, but they did say that this is going to be the year of Clone Wars. So does that mean we're going to be getting Ahsoka potentially at some point? Are we going to be getting new maps such as maybe Utapau, Umbara, Mustafar even? Those would be some great maps to get. I would love to get Coruscant, and I know that's probably going to be something people are going to be commenting on in the Star Wars community, but I don't think they have the resources to make something that graphically dynamic. Currently, we could probably get a space Coruscant because they did announce, which I'll get into later, but some capital ship battles are going to be happening when this type of stuff launches, and there's some other gameplay elements I want to get into in a short minute, which is what I'm personally most excited for this future content. But it leads me to speculate what else we could be getting Clone Wars wise, because we're going to be getting Geonosis first, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the only thing we're getting. But anyways, so they go through this article initially just talking about what they've introduced so far, how the initial launch wasn't what they wanted, so this is almost like a relaunch of Battlefront 2, and how they're wrapping up in June, the solo season. So we're getting Kessel, we're getting Extraction, we're getting a couple new things such as I believe Starfighter Hero Assault as well comes with this. But here's what I'm really excited for. So not only are we getting Clone Wars content, but we're getting more frequent and transparent communication once again. But this time it does seem like they're actually sticking to that, because what they do say later in the article is that they will be releasing at the end of June, after the solo season is done, a roadmap for what we're going to be getting for Star Wars in the future, which is exactly what we wanted this whole time. These 6 months of a drought for Battlefront 2 have been terrible for it because we don't know exactly what's happening. Is the game dead? Are we getting new content ever? What's going on, DICE? You're not sharing anything. What's going on, EA? You're not sharing anything. And finally, they are. Thankfully. So I think that's really going to help the game in the future. It's still going to be a while before we get complete new content, but they did say they're going to be filling in the gaps between this and the Clone Wars content to expect, and they're going to be ramping up production of more content, hopefully. So all we can do is hope, and hope that they're actually going in the right direction for a live service game, finally. Which I've always said, if DICE can't handle both Battlefield and Battlefront, split the studio so that way you have two different studios focusing on their game, because these are both supposed to be live service games, and right now, both of them suck for service games. Well, Battlefield 5 isn't even out yet, but it's supposed to be a service game, live service game, and hopefully it's going to be a better live service game than Battlefront 2 was. And hopefully Battlefront 2 will be better in the future. You guys get what I mean, anyways. But what's really exciting about this whole thing is Geonosis is coming. Obi-Wan, Grievous, Anakin, Count Dooku, all of that. But we're also going to be getting, Hero Starfighters. That's going to be cool. It's going to be cool game mode for those people that really want that. Not too much of a fan of that, but it's content for other people, so cool. Good on you. But they're going to be introducing a non-linear large-scale mode where players control or battle for control of objectives around the map. And the way they describe in the press conference is it's an open sandbox mode where you battle for control points and fight to destroy capital ships. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen on the same map as in Space to Ground, something we've all requested. I don't think they have the resources to do that right now. But what I do think could happen is we could be getting a space version of Conquest and a ground version of Conquest. I'm hoping it's not a progressive. Yeah, non-linear. Never mind. I was just going to say, I'm hoping it's not a progressive mode where you're starting on the ground, then you're going into space to destroy capital ships. No. I think what we're going to be getting is we're going to be getting a conquest in space and a conquest on the ground. Hopefully. Hopefully, they released more information on that, and that's exactly what happens. It's going to be Conquest like we had in the original Battlefront 2s. And maybe at some point in the far, far future, we get Space to Ground finally again, which we were supposed to have back in 2009. But anyways, I think that wraps up everything that they went through in this, the new heroes, the new maps, what they're doing for solo, what they're doing after solo, what they're doing in between solo with filling in some content, which I think there's going to be, oh yeah, here it is. Ahead of the Clone Wars drops, we're committed to delivering regular updates, events, and fixes to Star Wars Battlefront 2. This includes quality of life and new ways to play the game, so maybe some new maps. Maybe they'll expand Hunt to maybe Gungans versus droids on Naboo, Jawas versus Sand people on Tatooine. Who knows? I really like the Hunt game mode. They talk about that a little bit in the EA press conference, which is also now live on my channel, so you can go and watch that. But yeah, guys, tell me what maps you think that they could add to the future Battlefront 2. Because honestly, I don't think Coruscant is something we could see. It would be very resource intensive and very difficult for them to add at this point because they don't have models for that type of map to be produced yet. Hopefully, we'll see some new tanks too, maybe clone tanks. We're going to see the ATTE, the IFTX tank, I think is what it's called, the one from Battlefront 2. And maybe we'll see spider droids and even snail tanks. That would be super cool. That would add to the game a ton, and that is something that the community would really like to have. But honestly, what I think we could see is Umbara, Mustafar, and maybe some more simple maps like that in the near future for Battlefront 2, following Geonosis in the fall. Anyways, guys, that wraps everything up. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. I'll be responding to them. If you have any comments, leave them below. If you have any speculations, leave them below, but keep them realistic, guys. Don't just tell me what you'd like. Tell me what you think is realistic for them to add. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you later. Adios.